Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, thousands of residents in the capital without water today. It was a result of serious challenges experienced by the Water and Sewage Corporation. We're on that story tonight. Dangerous riptides causing Met officials to issue a warning. We'll tell you why. Anglicans in the city of Nassau set for historic celebrations tomorrow. What you can expect is straight ahead. And the runway heats up in the rainforest Seattle tomorrow night as young Bahamian models are expected to strut their stuff like divas. Stay close. The Bahamas Tonight Weekend Edition starts right now.
Covering the islands of the Bahamas, Zns Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
It's great to have you with us for the weekend edition. I'm Clint Watson reporting tonight. Well, if you live here in the capital, got no water from your faucet when you turned it on this morning, you were not alone. Thousands of residents were without water as the Water and Sewage Corporation faced serious challenges at their Arawak Key plant, where millions of gallons of water is barged in daily from Andros. Officials there were in emergency mode to ensure that the vital service was restored. Our Cyan Thompson has top story.
Thousands of Bahamians woke up Saturday to little or no water as the Water and Sewage Corporation faced a major water shortage in various parts of the capital. Usually, water scarcity is a problem in eastern New Providence, but low pressure and no water covered most of the capital. The Assistant General Manager of the New Providence Operations, Robert Deal, told us what went wrong.
Basically, what has happened this morning is that we ended the morning with very low overall water storage levels throughout New Providence, primarily here at Arawak Key and also at our Blue Hills facilities. And that combined with shipping challenges. The Titus is presently in port, but this is its first discharge in the past few days. And so what that would have meant is that the water we would have had here in storage at Arawak Key would have been used over the last few days. So this morning, the tanks would have run down basically to zero.
As you know, New Providence relies on water being barged from Andros to assist in supplying the capital, which uses more than 11 million gallons per day. Deal says that inclement weather hindered the Titus tanker from barging in water from Andros.
The Titus was able to come in this morning around 9 after a few days of bad weather, and around 11 we got the station here restarted. So customers, but primarily those in central New Providence, would now be getting their water restored, and we expect that they will see some return to normalcy by early afternoon.
Recently, Water and Sewage announced that they will end barging water in from Andros. Deal updated us on that long-anticipated move.
The corporation is getting out of shipping. In fact, the shipping contract comes to an official end on December 2nd. That is being replaced by increased desalination at our Blue Hills facility. That expansion is pretty much substantially completed, and they are in the initial phases now of getting those trains running. In fact, some of those have started up this morning, and that's providing us with additional water supplies. And so we expect over the next 3 to 4 weeks to be going through a transition period where we transition out of shipping here at Arawak Key and to more water supply from our Blue Hills facility.
Cyan Thompson, Zns News.
Other wells are also topping the news tonight. A marine weather warning from the Met Office issued today. Extremely large swells, as you can see on your screen. Wow, it took over really what happened today. It took over large swells. Low pressure system north of the Bahamas will generate large and dangerous north and northeasterly swells through Tuesday, causing battering coastal waves and rip currents. Small craft operators should remain in port during this period, and beachgoers should remain out of the waters. Now also motorists traveling along the north and east coast roadways should be alert for blinding sea spray. As you can see, there's pretty aggressive waves happening there on the coastal lines. You want to be extremely careful about that as you move about, especially in those areas. In crime news, a teenager is in serious condition after he was shot in the head early this morning. Police say the 19-year-old male of Pinewood Gardens was on the back of a truck in the area of Wolf Road and Collins Avenue when that shooting occurred. He was taken to hospital by a private vehicle where he is detained. Also, a large quantity of ammunition and 3 weapons taken from a male resident of the Grove, West Bay Street. The 35-year-old man was picked up in a silver Land Rover in the area shortly before 11 o'clock last night. 2 of those weapons were allegedly found in his vehicle. Police later conducted a search of his home in the Grove and removed 2 other weapons and a large quantity of assorted ammunition. Immigration officials busy in their quest to rid the Bahamas of illegal immigrants. They mounted a combined exercise with the Royal Bahamas Defense Force in Harbor Island on Thursday and took into custody more than 60 persons. After verifying their documents, 44 were found to have no status to be in the Bahamas. They included 23 men, 17 women, and 4 children. They were brought to the capital for processing and await repatriation at the detention center off Carmichael Road. Well, with that scrap metal ban extended, it's the perfect opportunity to flesh out just what's planned for scrap metal dealers, pawn brokers, and second-hand dealers as the new laws regulating the industries were introduced in the government's crime package. Our Zns Smith tonight breaks down the anti-crime legislation in this report.
Some do it legitimately, but then there are others who take the criminal route when getting and selling their scrap metal, particularly copper. But in walks new laws for the Customs Management Act that establishes a special investigation unit within the Customs Department to investigate and inspect proposed shipments of scrap metal before exportation. Where the shipment contains copper, aluminum, brass, or catalytic converters, the unit must conduct a comprehensive chain of custody investigation. Similarly, the special investigation unit will be the only body to certify and authorize shipments for approved dealers, and these dealers too have a responsibility to uphold. The new law seeks to require all scrap metal dealers to exercise due diligence and retrieve from each customer a valid photo ID and have the customer certify the origin and history of the scrap metal prior to him having it and prove that the metal was legitimately obtained. A 15-day hold on all shipments containing aluminum, brass, or the converters will be imposed until all checks have been made. That hold is extended to 30 days for copper shipments. And then there are the cash for gold businesses. The new pawn brokers and second-hand dealers bill strictly lays down the law in this regard and seeks to monitor and regulate the activities of pawn brokers and second-hand dealers, deter unlawful property transactions, and, among other things, facilitate the efforts of law enforcement in recovering stolen goods. The new laws also make provisions for the suspension, revocation, amendment, or cancellation of licenses, introduces the power of an officer to seize and forfeit articles, and charges the dealer with the responsibility to verify identity, keep proper records of traded goods, inspect articles, report stolen goods, and hold all goods received for a minimum of 14 days from the date of the transaction to ensure its legitimacy. I am Zns Smith, Zns News.
And ahead in the weekend edition, the city of Nassau ready for major celebrations tomorrow. We'll tell you what it's all about when your news leader comes right back.